Hello everybody, today we will talk about Brexit. Our guest is Shajjad Rizvi, the Honorary Consul of Great Britain in Cluj. Hello and welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
How is working this process, Brexit? The Great Britain is now outside the European Union. What's happen next? What's going to happen next?
As we saw last week, on the 1st, we are officially no longer part of Europe. Now, what that means in regards to, well, that's the withdrawal agreement has been implemented, okay? But we still have the trade agreements and the discussions that will continue this year. What has been agreed, that everything pretty much will stay the same for this year until the 31st of December. So UK citizens living in Europe, their rights will be exactly the same until the end of this year, the 31st of December. So as it stands now, there's no change to individuals living and working in Romania who are British.
Not even for travel or
No,
education
not for this
health
year.
insurance?
No, nothing. It would all remain the same during the implementation period. What will happen after the 31st is yet to be completely decided, but there are some indications. Some things have been agreed already, but we have to see how that will be implemented after the 31st of December.
But do we have some clues about the future of British citizens living in Romania?
Well, one thing is that we have lots of British people living in Romania who love living in Romania. And the most important thing for British citizens who are here now is that they get their paperwork in order during this year, which means they have to register. They need to register at local immigration. I know a lot of us are normally quite afraid of the bureaucracy involved in registration, and I mean, Romanian bureaucracy is quite famous, but thankfully the immigration progress is quite simple, and it's a very simple procedure, and especially in Cluj-Napoca, where we are, the immigration office here are extremely friendly, and they will help you through the procedure. It takes no more than a day. What I have encountered, to my surprise, is the amount of British people I've come across who haven't registered but have lived here for a very long period of time. They just took it for granted that because we were all Europeans, there was no registration needed, which is not the case. You need to register here.
How many British citizens are living here in this part of Transylvania?
Well, I can tell you for Cluj. Cluj is the second largest population of Brits outside of Bucharest and Ilfov. And we have about 260 Brits registered here. Now, there could be more who are not registered. So our figures come from the immigration office. So if you are watching this and you are British, please register.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of British investors which are present here in Cluj region. With their companies, there are some changes regarding the British investors, the British entrepreneurs who are living here in Pennsylvania?
As I understand, no. I mean, if anything, the rhetoric has always been, what do we do from a British perspective? Because a lot of these companies would need to have a European base. Mm-hmm. And that makes Romania extremely attractive for British investors, because one, it's part of the EU, two, we have very, very good flight links between the UK and Romania, and three, it's also, we got a highly skilled workforce here, engineers, software engineers, so it is very attractive for British businesses to come here, and they, again, Romania over the years have made it very easy for investors to come here and invest. So far no changes. The question is whether companies will be leaving the UK to set up bases in the EU. And again, the indicators don't look like a vast majority will. They may set up an office or branch in the EU, which some businesses have done here in Romania, British businesses. So they've kept their headquarters in the UK, but they've set a separate office in Romania.
A subsidiary, which is going to be registered in
the European Union, and they can benefit from the produce that they produce here. It has access to the freedom of open borders.
Also, they will have access to European funds because the company will be registered here in
Exactly.
Romania.
Exactly, exactly. I would, from my personal experience, a lot of British companies do not access European funding here. I don't know why. The vast majority of companies that do, I've noticed, are Romanian companies, but European funding is still open for British companies that are registered here. And they should access it because it is a huge, huge blessing for many.
British citizens who are living in Transylvania without contract of I don't know, work or trade registered by Romanian authorities can be registered for health insurance in Romania.
Well, they need to be paying into the system. And again, if they are registered here and they're paying into a UK system via the national health system, then that will be transferable over to Romania. But if they're working here, they have a business here, they've registered here, and have a business and operating, they will be paying into the Romanian healthcare system, then they're entitled also to Romanian healthcare as a Romanian citizen. They're paying their taxes here too. And again, I would say the vast majority of British people living in Romania are doing that. They're paying into the national health, they're paying into paying their taxes here, and they qualify just on the basis of that.
There is a statistics about how many British citizens are living in Romania and how many British companies are working here in our country.
Well, there was an interesting statistic that came out today in a Romanian English newspaper, and it said there's 1,400 registered businesses where 50% of the capital is British, over 50%. In total, when it comes to individual people living in Brits living in Romania, the figures hovers around 2,500 to 3,000. So it's not a huge amount, but it is an amount. When you compare that to the amount of Romanians living in the UK, the figures in 500,000, which is the second largest group of foreign nationals living in the UK after the Polish, actually. So it beats the Indians and it beats the Irish.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good thing.
Do you have some advices for people who are looking for useful information about Brexit and about their situation here in Romania?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I would highly recommend, I know not everybody is on Facebook, but I would highly recommend accessing the British Embassy Facebook page. We have a fantastic embassy team. We've got a wonderful ambassador who's very keen to help British nationals who are residing in Romania be up to date on all the developments. And not only are they keen to update, they're keen also to lobby on our behalf to ensure that our status as citizens in Romania will be upheld and we'll get the best possible benefits as citizens living in Romania.
Mr. Rizvi, thank you for your participation in our show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. See you.